10 unusual babies that really exist. If you actually think that all babies are normal, well, you might want to look at this video here. It turns out nature did not make us the same after all. Some of us don't have eyes, and others have tongues so big they can't close their mouths. In today's video, we'll be talking about 10 unusual babies born. Prepare to be totally amazed. Number 1. Baby born without a face. It's hard to imagine someone without a face, but back in 2012, a baby was born with no nose, no mouth, and only one misshapen eye with 2 pupils, just like the mythological creature Cyclops. Hard to believe, right? This condition is called Cyclopia syndrome, a rare form of congenital disorder characterized by the failure to divide the orbits of the eyes into 2 cavities. It happens to 1 in 100,000 newborns. Most times, the nose is missing, or it's replaced by a non-functioning nose called a proboscis. Now the question is, can babies with cyclopia survive? Most of these embryos are naturally aborted or stillborn on delivery, but they survive only a few hours after being born, so not a bright future. Number 2. Bubble baby syndrome. Nina, the daughter of Graham Mornell and Aga, lived in Poland. They were living an exceedingly ordinary life when, 2 weeks after Nina's birth, she stopped eating much and started to gain weight. Later, at 10 weeks of age, she was taken to the hospital and diagnosed with bubble baby syndrome. It's a genetic disorder in which the baby develops a weak immune system. The deficiency of an enzyme, adenosine, is responsible for eliminating a molecule. Diazatosane, formed when DNA is broken, is responsible for the disease. Thus, everyone stayed away from Nina because a single kiss or a mild cold could actually kill her. Fortunately, in 2013, Nina was given a therapeutic gene therapy which changed her life. She now goes to school, enjoys and plays with her friends, and goes to England after 1 year for her routine checkups. Number 3. Two-Face. In a village located 40 kilometers away from New Delhi, a baby girl named Lolly was born with only 1 head, 2 ears, but 2 faces. Yes, I repeat, 2 faces. The little girl had 2 noses, 2 mouths, and 4 pairs of eyes. She could open and close the 4 eyes at the same time and could ingest food from both of her mouths. I know it sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, but it's real. Although babies born with craniofacial duplication don't survive, doctors believe that Lolly could survive this, and it turns out she is one of the lucky ones. Moreover, she became the most popular child in her village and was considered the reincarnation of God, something that doesn't happen to all babies, so maybe things are not all bad. Number 4. AngleMan. Robin Audette and Kirk Hisco from Ontario are proud parents of a beautiful young Kisco, but they're not like your average parents at all. Although most parents don't really get any sleep with a wailing child in the bed, Robin and Kirk have it the worst. Why is that? Well, because they have to be on their feet all the time since their daughter can't sleep. The young Kisco is not an average child since he's actually suffering from AngleMan syndrome. This syndrome affects the nervous system and also leads to physical and learning disabilities. The problem is caused by a defect in a gene in chromosome 15. Babies sleep only 4 hours throughout the day, which is why a little 3-year-old Hisco cannot be left alone at night. The parents have to stay awake and look after their baby at night too, thus not getting enough sleep to function correctly during the day. Robin and Kirk have decided to work in shifts. They have now fully adapted to this routine. Number 5. Cyclops Baby. In Egypt, a mother gave birth to a baby boy born with 1 head but 2 noses, 2 mouths, and 4 pairs of eyes. Such a genetic condition is cyclopia, which is characterized by the failure to divide the orbits into 2 cavities. They appear like mythological creatures called Cyclops. The picture of the baby went viral on social video, and everyone felt pity for the baby and was devastated. Her mother suffered the most as her baby's photo got viral. Babies with this syndrome are mostly aborted or survive only for a few hours after birth. The little baby boy died 24 hours after his birth. Number 6. Batman costume. The Fenner couple living in the United States really wanted a kid of their own, so God decided to bless them with a little Luna. Unfortunately, Luna was born with a skin condition, melanocytic nevus, which is characterized by an abnormally large skin patch that covered a good part of her face. It's a benign tumor covering more than 10 centimeters of her face. Luna's parents wanted a normal life for her, so they took Luna to Russia, where they met a doctor who had the answers. The little baby had to go through several surgeries before fully recovering. Most of the black part of her face was removed. You can imagine how happy they are. Number 7. The baby with her tongue out. Paisley Morrison Johnson was born in South Dakota in the USA, but guess what? She was not born like a normal baby. Instead, she was born with this syndrome, Beckett-Wiedemann that affects different body parts, including an enlarged outward tongue. As a result, she had difficulty in breathing and needed to go through not only one but several surgeries to get free from this handicap. Paisley went through her first surgery, which was meant to decrease the size of the tongue, but it was a complete failure because the muscle kept growing. To feed the baby, doctors had to insert a gastric tube for the next 6 months. Later, she had another surgery which resulted in a 15-centimeter removal of the muscle content, but that's not the end of it. She could face outgrowths in other body parts due to Beckett-Wiedemann syndrome. However, the little girl can smile now, and she's eating perfectly fine too. Number 8, the baby with no nose. In Alabama, a boy named Timothy Ellie Thompson was born, but he wasn't your average baby, unfortunately. He was born with the congenital disorder Ariane, which was not observed during her mother's ultrasounds during her pregnancy. Thus, he was born with no nose and had problems breathing. Timothy also has no olfactory system, and her pellet was incomplete too. Not to mention, his head was lower than the normal position. This is something which cannot be recovered by simple plastic surgery. Little Timothy had to go under a tracheostomy to regain his breathing, and then another surgery to reconstruct the nasal cavity. This surgery is one of the difficult ones and can only occur at the end of his childhood. Fortunately, little Timothy is still with us and enjoying life to the fullest. Number 9, the Thing. In 2017 in Bihar, a state in Northeast, a woman was expecting a baby. She was 28 weeks pregnant and was eagerly waiting to start a new chapter of her life with her newborn. A few weeks later, at the time of the birth, she was devastated to know that her newborn was born with a genetic disorder called harlequin ichthyosis, meaning the infant's skin is covered with thick skin that cracks and splits apart. It's not a pretty sight, that's for sure. Affected babies are kept in a kind of armor of dense white skin patches separated by deep crevices that can alter the human skin, giving them an appearance that looks like the Thing from the Fantastic Four. The tightening of the skin may cause other complications, such as blockage of the nasal cavity and lips. What's more, the baby's mom refused to breastfeed her and hold her. She believed that her baby was cursed because everyone called her baby the demon baby. Let's hope her mother understands that the baby is not cursed and starts taking care of him soon. Number 10, baby born with a big face. A baby named Rona Begum from India was born with hydrocephalus. For those of you who don't know, it's a disease caused by increased cerebrospinal fluid production. The head size increases to 94 centimeters in circumference since the brain swells to a considerable level due to the extremely high cerebrospinal fluid content in the brain. Rona had the head the size of a watermelon. A proper surgery can remove this fluid, but little Rona couldn't make it after having the operation and died after a few weeks. And that's a wrap for this video. What other weird babies can you think of? Did you ever witness the birth of an unusual baby? Let us know in the comments section below. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more videos. Bye now.